I cannot stop listening to scary stories that happened in Matamoros, which is the Mexico border town, to Brownsville, Texas, which is the valley. I'm from the valley. This could very well just come on over to us. Or is it already here too? Oh! Not me scaring myself. Okay, let me tell you the story. So this literally happened in August, last month. This guy says that he is a teenager, he's going to school, and he lives in Matamoros. And on this particular night, he had stayed late at school because they had some sort of battle of the bands going on. He says that normally when he does stay really late, because at this point it was 9 p.m., any other day he would always have his two friends with him, but that night he was gonna have to walk home by himself. He admits that he did have a little bit of fear in him walking home alone because the area that he lives in is very dangerous. They're very used to hearing about people being killed. Since he was a little bit nervous walking home alone, he decided to put his earphones in so that he could at least listen to some music to help him relax. Before he actually makes it to the street where his house is, he has to pass by this big stretch of like a lot of grass, and there's no light there, so it's in complete darkness. Thankfully, he said that there was a full moon, so it was illuminating his way, but he was also using his cell phone with the flashlight. So as he starts walking through that big patch of darkness before he gets home, he says that he got this really strange feeling. Starts to feel like dizzy and nauseous and very uncomfortable, like almost like his body was telling him like something was not right. But he also says that he thought that maybe it was because he had forgotten to eat the entire day, so he was just feeling lightheaded because he needed to eat something. Because of that, he was like, oh, I'm just hungry, let me keep on walking. And as he started walking, something made him look to the side where all the grass and bush was, and he explains that he could have sworn that the leaves were moving as if something was there. He doesn't know if it's because his mind was playing tricks on him, but his mind immediately went to, this is a Nagual. He admits that he loves listening to scary stories, especially about Nahuales, so he was just thinking, I am getting in my head, like I'm overthinking this, but just to make sure, let me walk a little bit faster. So as he started to walk a little bit faster, he accidentally drops one of his earphones on the ground. Obviously, he's no longer listening to the music because his ear thing fell, and when it did, he could have swore to hear something large running behind him. When he turns to look, he says that it looks like a human, but not quite like a human. Like it was a lot larger. He was looking straight at this thing, and this thing was looking right back at him, and he got so scared that his body was literally frozen in fear. Then what felt like forever, something inside of him just like reacted. He grabbed his headphone, started running towards his house as fast as he could. As he's running, he feels like the road is getting longer and longer and that he was never gonna be able to make it to all those houses. And he even dropped his water bottle. He did not stop to pick it up. He did not care at that point. He wouldn't even look back, but he explains that he could hear something large running after him, and that it even sounded like pieces of clothing would hit the ground, and it was just like running and running, and he knows that no small pet animal would make that big of a sound. He kept running until he found the first post of light where he can actually see that there was 3 men standing outside of a house, and he ran straight to them. He makes it to those 3 guys. He's obviously panting, he's scared, he's nervous, he's shaking, and these men are like, what's going on? What are you running from? What's going on? Like, tell us. He managed to catch his breath and tells them what exactly he saw and what was following him. The second that he tells these 3 guys what had happened, what was following him, what it looked like, all of them heard this loud scream, and it sounded like it was a woman. The scream was so loud that he almost felt like his head was gonna explode, and that the other men experienced the same thing. They immediately tell him, get in the house. They all ran into that house. He did not even know these people and went into that house with them. Once they were all inside, he said that he felt even more scared because he's like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? What is this? The men just started praying, and they started praying over him too. Like, they would touch his head. One of the older gentlemen started talking to him and said, hey, I just want to let you know that I think that whatever was outside had already been watching you before this night. I think it wanted to take you, and I have no idea how you managed to get away from it. They all warned him that there's a lot of people who do not dare pass by that patch of darkness in the middle of the night because they have already heard stories about what happens there. Some other guy was like, this thing saw you alone tonight, and I bet you they thought it was going to be easy to take you. He didn't even know what to say because he was just very scared, and they told them just to wait it out here because because it wouldn't be a good idea for him to go out there, being that it's probably still out there waiting for him to get out of that house. He managed to calm himself down a little bit, and that's when the guys started talking to him and explained to him that that thing had been in that area for a very long time, that even when they were children, they had heard stories about that thing. When they were children, there had been a lot of disappearances in that area, but because of how bad the area was, they would just think it was like criminal type of situations where people are being kidnapped and they never see them again. But whoever lived there knew that there was something out there taking people. The people who have seen this and experienced this and had gotten away explain this entity or like being as looking like a wolf or like a really big dog, except that it stands on its hind legs. And that even at some points when it's standing, it does kind of look like a human, but there's just something really off about it. One of the people who described this being also said that even though it looked like the body of an animal, that the face looks like a man. He said that when he heard that, he just couldn't believe it because that's exactly what he had seen as well. He waited it out for like 30 minutes and then he was like, I need to go home, but I'm so scared. Is it possible that you can just stand outside the door and just watch me to get to my house? Like, you don't have to come with me, but just make sure I get home. And the gentleman agreed. Thankfully, he did make it home that night. He hasn't experienced anything like that since, but he says that he feels very lucky that he got away because from the sounds of it, not a lot of people had gotten away from that thing. He still goes to school. He still stays there very late for the battle thingies of the band, and he takes a different route home. Yeah, he is not going back through there. But what do you guys think that was? Because I'm not gonna lie, it kind of does sound like a Nagual, but I need to hear what you guys think.